Hey friends, it's Gwen and I'm back today with another scrapbooking process video. Today I'm using the Scrap Room Flavors of the Month kit, in particular the exclusive cut file that comes with those kits that is designed by myself. And I'm also using Echo Park Goodies, away we go. So I've really just pulled out just the elements from the Flavors of the Month kit that match this collection. I'm going to keep things really simple today and I'm just going to work with those supplies alone. And I was super impressed at how quickly my layout came together. I have gone ahead and backed the cut file off camera just to save a little bit of time. Here is a look at the exclusive cut file in action. It is two separate pieces, so you can use them separately, or as I'm doing on my layout today, I'm using them together. So it's going to form, I've cut it out really large, and it's going to form a background element for my page. And I'm going to be documenting this family vacation photo. This is my husband and daughter. We flew as a family from Queensland down to Sydney to actually jump on a cruise ship. So this was our little bit of time before our ship set sail, and we did a little tour of the harbour. So I am working from largest elements to smallest elements for this layout. So I've obviously nutted out the background with the cut file there, and I've got my photo into position. I know exactly where that's going to go. Now comes the fun of adding all of the embellishments. And normally in my process, if you've watched any of my previous videos, the first thing I tend to do is a big sweep through the collection, because often I'm working with whole collections and there are a ton of elements that I need to sort through to sort of determine what could work for the page and what won't work. But because these kits are already really refined for me, my selection is a lot smaller. So I found that process really, really simple. There were a few things that I excluded purely because of their size. Those are the ones that you see in the bowl in the top right-hand corner. And then I was left with just a handful of pieces, including those banner pieces and the title element there. And then just the two sticker sheets, which, I don't know, it felt very refreshing for me, if I'm perfectly honest, just to be able to really focus on having a few elements to add to my page. So it came together, I mentioned earlier, it came together so fast, this layout, so fast, which I am loving. So I did start placing elements until I realized that I hadn't really locked into position the cut file. So I'm going to do that now. I'm using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to do that. And I did exactly what I tell you guys not to do. Here I added way too much glue and it oozed out onto the blue background, which was so annoying. So my hot tip for gluing cut files is always to use less glue than you think you will need. I just didn't listen to my own advice for that one moment. So locking everything down, I'm going to lock my photo into position as well. I know at this point that all of my embellishments are going to go on top of these layers. Sometimes I will leave the locking down till much later in the process because I'm not sure if I want to maybe tuck tags underneath or flower elements. But for this one, I really knew that all of the extra elements that were going on top of the page were all going to be added to this top layer. It's about now that I'm starting to really think about the flow of the page and how the colors are spread across the page. So I'm a little bit concerned at the moment because I have the bright yellow sunshine down the bottom, and that is the only yellow element. I've also got the aeroplane there that I've backed in that red striped pattern paper. It's really popping as the only red thing that's on the layout. So I need to solve both of those problems. I need a way to soften that up and help spread the colors around the page. So to do that, the first point of action is to add this yellow floral element near the plane there. And because it's a flower shape, it's sort of similar. It sort of mirrors the shape of the sun. And both of those elements are now yellow. So see how immediately the page looks a little more balanced? I'm also thinking about the visual triangle and the 3 points of clusters that I'm going to have on my layout. And I showed you those before. So top left-hand corner of the photo, right-hand side of the photo, and then down the bottom there where my title is. So that's going to be my 3 points. And I'm also going to be thinking, that's going to help me with my thinking about what to put in each cluster. I have mentioned this before on the channel. Often a bit of a cheat for rounding out clusters and having them look really combined on your layout is to repeat elements in each of them. So I am going to try and have a yellow something in that top cluster, a yellow something in the middle cluster, and then obviously the yellow sun. I'm going to make sure I've got a red element in each of the clusters. I'm going to try and have a nod to a floral piece in the clusters. The bottom cluster doesn't end up with a flower, but I'm counting the sun as a flower because it's a similar shape. There are so many stickers on that sticker sheet. It was actually really easy to find elements that I could mix and match to create my clusters, but also have repeating shapes. I also end up with, which you'll see in a moment here, 3 little sentiment banners. So you can see 2 of them. The yellow one I'm placing here now. There's a red one that I placed down the bottom to try and balance out the red in the aeroplane. And right at the end of the video, I add a 3rd one up to that top cluster in a really pale blue, because there's blue in the floral print that's the word summer. There's some blue elements in there, but there isn't any other blue on the layout. So I do balance out that blue by adding a little banner piece up the top there. I did find this top cluster a little bit tricky, and that was because I was very careful not to cover up the Opera House in my photo. So we're on Sydney Harbour. We've taken this lovely photo of the Opera House. I don't want to cover that up. So the banner was perfect because it was the right colour, and I feel like it really balances out that area of the layout, but it was a bit long. So I just trimmed off, maybe 1/4 of an inch off of the top. And I feel like now we have the blue in the luggage, there's blue in the camera near my husband there, and then there's the blue banner piece in that top cluster. And I feel like those 3 elements sitting on that lovely deep blue background really help everything sort of look really cohesive. I'm hoping too that if you have the kits and you've got your cut file, that you can play along and you can recreate this page. If you do, I'd love to see it. So be sure to tag me on social media or hit me up with a message. I'm always in my inbox or in my DMs. So let me know if you recreate this layout. It's now time to have a think about the finishing touches for the layout. I am going to go ahead and add in the yellow enamel dots that came in the kit. If you haven't seen the unboxing video that I did with all of the goodies that's included, be sure to check that one out next. I have 2 more tags to add, this bottom one that says relax and a pretty yellow one to balance out that yellow up the top, and that's the layout complete. Thanks so much for being here, my creative friends. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. I will see you all in the next video. Until then, bye.